And honestly, I can only imagine what this announcement felt like to these restaurants and restaurant owners and workers, probably like a chef's knife to the heart for many of them. They were already wondering how much longer they were going to be able to survive the way things were going. Not to mention, you have to remember, a lot of these restaurants are going into winter. They have built outdoor additions so that people will stay and eat there during a winter in Oregon. This isn't San Diego. You need more than a $50 patio set from IKEA. Some of them have spent tens of thousands of dollars. And now with these new restrictions, those attempts to survive are obsolete and creating debt that they can't pay off. The Oregon Restaurant and Lodging Association says that these latest restrictions will cause many restaurants to close permanently. It's just a matter of time until we start finding out which ones. The advisory board chair of the Independent Restaurants Alliance of Oregon told the Oregonian that she expects 80% of all the remaining restaurant workers to be laid off. This time, they won't have that $1,200 stimulus check to rely on. They won't have that $600 boost from Uncle Sam with their unemployment payments. Katie Connors, speaking to the Oregonian, gives us our blunt quote of the day, saying, "This is going to be devastating." Now, the only hope at this point seems to be Congress, right? And I can hear you laughing from here. I'm kind of chuckling along with you because who the heck knows when they're going to get their act together to pass some kind of relief. They've been talking about another bill to help restaurants for months now. And if you're wondering how that's going, the fact that they're still hosting indoor orientation dinners kind of tells me that they're not quite grasping what we're talking about out here. In fact, if you ask the people in the restaurant industry, they don't really think that most of the people, even back here in Oregon, know how serious of a situation this actually is. And it has career people in that industry doing things that I'm sure they never imagined ever doing. Just take the folks at Botanist House, who last night announced that they are going to break the state's rules, which is typically not something you announce. On the day before Thanksgiving, they're going to begin a civil disobedience protest of Oregon's Constitution and start selling cocktails to go, which is not allowed here. But they are so desperate that the thought of losing their liquor license forever wasn't enough to stop them from trying to make ends meet and to save their business. I talked to the co-owners of Botanist today about this decision and whether they're worried about risking their livelihoods.
I'm nervous. I'm downright absolutely nervous. We can lose our liquor license. We can get crucified by the public. There's just so many things that can go wrong with this announcement, and I'm scared, flat out scared. OLCC can come in and I may never be able to open a bar. Robbie may be able to never open another bar. He's 11 years in the industry. And so if somebody says that we're doing this as a publicity stunt, they need to understand that we have evaluated the consequences of our actions. We have been advised of what can happen, and we know. And they're severe.
But to them, the risk of losing everything is worth it right now, especially when the alternative is to fail anyway, unless they say lawmakers step in.
You know, you're asking us as a business to limp along and do hard things. We also are asking you guys to do hard things as well. Help us get it through. Or, I don't care, Kate Brown, give me an executive order that's not legal. Who in this state is going to challenge that executive order? We're getting the support, but we're not getting the movement. You know, where's the hard work to put it across the finish line that says, yes, I'm going to help you as a bar do what you need to do to survive?
There is a bill, at least maybe looking at the finish line right now. It was introduced in Congress by Portland Congressman Earl Blumenauer, H.R. 7197, otherwise known as the Restaurants Act. It was aimed at assisting places like Botanist, but it was introduced back in June and still at this point has not come to a vote.